First strike. The skies above Shanghai turned crimson at dawn, but it wasn't the sun painting the clouds. General Sarah Chen watched from the command center as the first Kraxan warships breached Earth's atmosphere, their massive hulls reflecting the morning light in shades of blood and fire. Multiple contacts, approaching at supersonic speeds, Lieutenant Park reported, his fingers dancing across the holographic display. Energy signatures unlike anything we've seen before. Sarah had spent 20 years preparing for this moment, but reality still felt surreal. The Kraxan hadn't bothered with diplomacy or demands. They simply came, their fleet darkening skies across every major city on Earth. The first attack struck New York. In seconds, the city's defense systems went dark. London followed, then Moscow, Delhi, and Tokyo. One by one, Earth's greatest cities fell silent. But Shanghai held. Status on the experimental shields. Sarah demanded, her eyes fixed on the approaching warships. Dr. Wei Zhang, chief of R&D, stepped forward. The quantum barrier is holding, General. Something about their weapons. They're not as effective as they should be. Sarah narrowed her eyes. The Kraxan ships, sleek and deadly, bristled with weapons that could vaporize mountains. Yet their attacks barely dented Shanghai's hastily erected defenses. Explain. They're energy weapons, Zhang said, excitement creeping into his voice. They're based on exotic particle acceleration, but there's a peculiar interaction with Earth's magnetic field. Our planet's core is actually disrupting their targeting systems. A faint smile crossed Sarah's face. The aliens had come expecting an easy conquest, armed with technology centuries ahead of humanity's, but they hadn't accounted for Earth itself being humanity's ally. Get me every geophysicist and weapons engineer still online, Sarah ordered, and contact whatever research facilities are still standing. We've just found our first advantage. The next 48 hours became a blur of constant attacks and desperate defense. While other cities burned, Shanghai became humanity's fortress. Teams of scientists worked around the clock, studying the interaction between alien weapons and Earth's magnetic field. Every failed Kraxan attack provided more data. General, Zhang called out on the third day, his eyes wild with lack of sleep but bright with discovery. We've cracked it. Their whole weapons system relies on manipulating quantum fields in ways that are fundamentally incompatible with Earth's natural electromagnetic spectrum. It's like they never encountered a planet with such a strong magnetic core. Sarah leaned over the data, her military mind already seeing the tactical possibilities. Can we weaponize this weakness? Zhang nodded. Better. We can replicate our defensive shield using modified electromagnetic pulse generators. And, he paused, allowing himself a small grin, we might be able to turn their own weapons against them. Above them, the Kraxan ships continued their relentless assault on Shanghai's shields, their frustration evident in the increasing intensity of their attacks. They couldn't understand why this one city refused to fall, why their superior technology failed to break through. How long to modify our existing EMP systems? Sarah asked. 24 hours for a prototype, maybe a week for full deployment. Sarah straightened, watching another alien blast dissipate harmlessly against the quantum barrier. The Kraxan had made a critical mistake. They'd assumed technological superiority guaranteed victory. They hadn't counted on human ingenuity, or the protective embrace of Earth itself. Begin production immediately, she ordered, and get me a secure line to any military command center still operating. It's time humanity showed these aliens what happens when you underestimate us. As the sun set on the third day of the invasion, the seeds of Earth's counterattack were already taking root. The Kraxans' greatest weakness wasn't in their technology, but in their arrogance. They'd brought their advanced weapons to subjugate what they thought was a primitive species, never realizing that humanity's greatest strength lay not in our tools, but in our ability to adapt, to observe, and to turn any advantage, even the very magnetic field of our planet, into a weapon. The war for Earth was just beginning, And humanity had found its first ray of hope in the most unexpected place, the very ground beneath our feet. Project Phoenix. Deep beneath the Himalayan mountains, in a facility unknown to all but a handful of people, Dr. Maya Patel stood before a holographic display of the Earth's magnetic field. Around her, a team of the world's brightest minds worked frantically, their faces illuminated by the soft blue glow of computer screens. The Kraxan weapons are failing because they can't handle the quantum interference from our planet's magnetosphere, she explained to the assembled group of military leaders and scientists. But we can do more than just defend against them. We can use this interference to create something entirely new. Project Phoenix had begun as a theoretical research program into quantum physics. Now it was humanity's best hope for survival. The facility's massive underground chambers housed prototype generators that could manipulate Earth's magnetic field in ways previously thought impossible. "Show them," Admiral Chen ordered from the video screen, her face tired but determined. Shanghai still stood, but the Kraxan were adapting, their attacks growing more precise. Maya nodded to her team. The main chamber hummed to life as the first prototype activated. Above them, sensors detected a subtle shift in the local magnetic field. On another screen, a Kraxan weapon signature flickered and died. "The generator creates a localized magnetic vortex," Maya explained. "When their weapons interact with it, the exotic particles they use become unstable. But that's not the breakthrough." She paused, allowing herself a small smile. "Watch this." The generator's pitch changed. Suddenly, the energy signature from the disabled Kraxan weapon reappeared, but now under human control. "We're not just blocking their weapons," Maya continued. "We're learning to replicate them, using Earth's magnetic field as a power source. The very thing that makes their weapons malfunction here is what allows us to adapt their technology to our needs." Colonel James Rodriguez, commander of what remained of the North American Defense Force, leaned forward. "How soon can we weaponize this?" "We already have," Maya replied. "The prototype you're seeing isn't just a defensive system. It's the core of what will become humanity's first magnetically enhanced warship. We're calling it the Phoenix-class vessel." The holographic display shifted, showing the schematics of a ship unlike anything Earth had ever produced. Its hull was laced with electromagnetic coils designed to harness and amplify Earth's magnetic field. Weapon systems that once would have seemed like science fiction now appeared as detailed technical specifications. "The Kraxan thought they were invincible because of their advanced technology," Maya said, her voice firm. "But they never understood what makes humanity different. We don't just use technology. We adapt it, improve it, make it our own. And we've had something they never did. Millions of years of evolution on a planet with one of the strongest magnetic fields in our sector of the galaxy." The facility shook slightly as another Kraxan bombardment hit somewhere far above. But down here, in humanity's secret forge, the tremors felt less like a threat and more like motivation. "How many ships can we build?" Admiral Chen asked. "With the resources we've gathered, and the manufacturing facilities hidden across the globe." 5 within the month. After that, production accelerates as we perfect the process. The military leaders exchanged glances. 5 ships against a Kraxan fleet that numbered in the hundreds shouldn't have meant much. But these weren't ordinary ships. These were humanity's answer to alien aggression, built with a combination of stolen technology and human innovation. "Begin full production," Admiral Chen ordered. "And Maya, thank you. You and your team have given us more than just weapons. You've given us hope." As the meeting ended, Maya turned back to her work. The prototype generator continued its steady hum, a sound that had become a lullaby to the scientists who worked endless hours in this underground sanctuary. They were no longer just fighting for survival. They were reshaping humanity's destiny. Above them, the Kraxan continued their relentless assault on Earth's cities, unaware that deep beneath the mountains, humanity was preparing a surprise that would change the course of the war. The Phoenix was rising, and with it, the future of human civilization. The counterattack. Dawn broke over the Pacific Ocean as Captain Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the HMS Phoenix, humanity's first magnetically enhanced warship. The vessel hummed beneath her feet, its systems in perfect harmony with Earth's magnetic field. 4 other Phoenix-class ships flanked her position, hidden beneath the waves. "All systems operational," reported Commander David Chen, his hand steady on the quantum interface. "Magnetic resonance at optimal levels." Elena took a deep breath. After weeks of preparation, the moment of truth had arrived. The Kraxen's main fleet hovered above what remained of Tokyo, their ships arranged in their characteristic perfect formation, a display of power and precision that had struck fear into countless civilizations. "Remember," Elena's voice carried across all 5 ships, "we only get one shot at surprising them. Make it count." She paused, allowing herself a grim smile. "Time to show these bastards what humanity can do." Execute Operation Thunderstrike. The ocean surface erupted as 5 Phoenix-class vessels burst from the depths. Their hulls, designed to channel Earth's magnetic field, crackled with barely contained energy. The Kraxen fleet responded immediately, their weapons charging with familiar purple light. "They're targeting us," David reported calmly, energy signatures matching their standard attack pattern. "Perfect," Elena replied. "Activate the magnetic vortex shields." The alien weapons fired, streams of exotic particles racing toward the human ships. But instead of destruction, something extraordinary happened. The energy beams struck the magnetic shields and simply disappeared. "Shields holding at 100%, David announced. "Enemy weapons are being absorbed and redirected to our power matrix, exactly as designed." Elena allowed herself a moment of satisfaction as confusion rippled through the Kraxen fleet. Their perfect formation wavered as ships began to break ranks, attempting to find better firing positions. "All ships, commence Phase 2, Elena ordered. The Phoenix-class vessels moved in perfect synchronization, their modified hulls channeling the absorbed energy along with Earth's magnetic field. Dr. Patel's theories were proving correct. The Kraxen's weapons weren't just being stopped, they were being transformed. "Target their flagship," Elena commanded. "Show them what their own weapons feel like when properly handled." The Phoenix's main cannon charged, glowing with a combination of terrestrial and alien energy. When it fired, the beam was unlike anything ever seen in combat. It struck the Kraxen flagship dead center, its modified exotic particles tearing through their supposedly impenetrable shields like paper. The alien vessel didn't explode. It simply came apart, its advanced hull material unable to withstand weapons that combined their own technology with Earth's magnetic field. The remaining Kraxen ships reeled in shock, their formation completely broken. "All ships, engage at will," Elena ordered. "Remember your training. Use the planet's field to your advantage." What followed was unlike any battle in human history. The Phoenix-class vessels danced through the Kraxen fleet, their magnetic systems allowing them to predict and counter every alien attack. Each block shot only made the human ships stronger, feeding their energy reserves. The Kraxen, for the first time in their long history of conquest, found themselves completely outmatched. Their rigid tactics, developed over centuries of easy victories, proved useless against an enemy that could turn their own weapons against them. Multiple enemy ships attempting to retreat, David reported, his voice tight with controlled excitement. "They're breaking orbit." Elena watched as the mighty Kraxen fleet, which had arrived with such overwhelming confidence, flood from Earth's defenders. But she knew this was just the beginning. "Send word to command," she ordered. "Operation Thunderstrike successful. The Phoenix-class vessels exceed all expectations." She paused, watching the retreating alien ships, "and informed them that we're ready to take this fight beyond Earth. It's time to show the Kraxen that humanity isn't just capable of defending our world. We can take the battle to their doorstep." As the sun rose higher over the Pacific, the 5 Phoenix-class ships regrouped, their hulls still crackling with captured energy. They had just changed the course of the war, but Elena knew the real challenge lay ahead. The Kraxen would return, and next time they wouldn't underestimate humanity. But that was exactly what she was counting on. Let them come with their full might. Every weapon they brought would only make Earth's defenders stronger. The age of human subjugation was over. The age of human ascendance had begun. Hidden strengths. Grand Admiral Zexkar of the Kraxen Empire stood before the High Council, his proud bearing diminished by the news he carried. The massive chamber, with its towering crystalline spires and ancient battle trophies, had never before heard a report of defeat. Impossible. First Speaker Catal hissed, his scaled skin flushing dark with anger. You claim these primitives not only resisted our finest weapons, but turned them against us. The humans, Zexkar began, forcing himself to speak the name of the species that had humiliated his fleet, have demonstrated capabilities we never anticipated. They found a way to harness their planet's magnetic field in ways our sciences never considered possible. The council chamber erupted in angry whispers. The Kraxen Empire had conquered 1,000 worlds across 3 galaxies. Their technological superiority was supposed to be absolute. But even as the council debated, humanity was moving forward. The success of Operation Thunderstrike had sparked a renaissance in human innovation. Every research facility on Earth worked around the clock, combining the captured Kraxen technology with humanity's new understanding of magnetic field manipulation. In orbit around Mars, the second generation of Phoenix-class ships was already under construction. These vessels were larger, more powerful, designed not just to defend Earth, but to take the fight to the enemy. Dr. Maya Patel's team had made another breakthrough: the ability to create artificial magnetic fields that could be projected around other planets, extending humanity's advantage beyond Earth. Captain Elena Rodriguez, now Admiral Rodriguez, stood in the new Lunar Command Center, watching the construction through a quantum-enhanced viewport. Status report on the Mars shipyards. Production is ahead of schedule, Commander Chen reported. The automated systems are operating at 130% efficiency. The captured Kraxen manufacturing technology, combined with our magnetic field innovations, has revolutionized our industrial capabilities. Elena nodded, satisfaction evident in her expression. The Kraxen's retreat had given humanity precious time, and they were using it well. But she knew better than to expect the alien empire to accept defeat. And the defense grid. The magnetic field projectors are operational around both Earth and Mars. We're extending the network to the outer planets next week. If the Kraxen return, they'll find our entire solar system turned into one massive defensive network. But humanity's greatest advantage wasn't in their new technology or defensive systems. It was in something the Kraxen couldn't understand: adaptability. While the alien empire relied on rigid hierarchies and standardized tactics, human forces organized themselves into flexible, autonomous units. Each ship captain was encouraged to innovate, to find new ways to use the magnetic field technology. The results were extraordinary. Some ships learned to create magnetic vortexes that could tear apart enemy vessels from the inside. Others developed techniques to redirect enemy fire back at multiple targets simultaneously. Each victory brought new discoveries, new applications of their growing understanding of magnetic field manipulation. Back in the Kraxen Council chamber, Grand Admiral Zexkar watched as his leaders argued among themselves. They were still thinking in terms of overwhelming force, of bringing even larger fleets to crush the human resistance. They couldn't see that such tactics would only make humanity stronger. The humans must be eliminated, First Speaker Kittle finally declared. Assemble the Grand Fleet. We will darken their skies with our ships and show them the true might of the Kraxen Empire. Zexkar bowed in acknowledgement, but a sense of unease settled in his stomach. He had seen firsthand what the humans could do with just 5 ships. What would they be capable of by the time the Grand Fleet arrived? In the Lunar Command Center, Elena received the first reports from their deep space monitoring stations. The Kraxen were gathering their forces, assembling the largest fleet seen in the history of their empire. She smiled. Send word to all commands. Operation Starforge is now in effect. The Kraxan thought they were preparing to deliver a killing blow. Instead, they were walking into humanity's greatest trap. Every ship they brought, every weapon they carried, would only add to Earth's strength. The magnetic field technology had changed more than just humanity's defensive capabilities. It had changed their destiny. Victory among the stars. The void between Mars and Jupiter erupted with light as the largest Kraxan fleet ever assembled emerged from hyperspace. 10,000 ships, their hulls gleaming with purple energy, filled the space where humanity's outer defense line waited. Admiral Elena Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the Phoenix Prime, the most advanced warship ever built by human hands. Around her, a fleet of 300 Phoenix-class vessels held position, their magnetic field generators humming in harmony with the artificial network that now spanned the solar system. They'd brought their entire empire to crush us, Commander Chen observed, his voice calm despite the overwhelming odds they faced. No, Elena replied, a slight smile playing at her lips. They'd brought their entire empire to help us ascend. The Kraxan fleet moved forward in their characteristic perfect formation. At their center, a massive dreadnought carried the High Council itself. They had come to witness humanity's destruction personally. All ships, Elena's voice carried across the human fleet. Execute Operation Starforge. Remember your training. Remember Earth. Remember what we learned about them. And more importantly, what they never learned about us. The battle began with a display of power that would be remembered for centuries. The Kraxan fleet opened fire simultaneously, 10,000 weapons releasing enough energy to shatter a planet. The human fleet didn't attempt to dodge. Instead, they activated the magnetic field network. The effect was beyond even what humanity's scientists had predicted. The entire solar system seemed to pulse as artificial and natural magnetic fields interwove. The Kraxan's energy weapons didn't just fail. They were caught in a web of magnetic forces that grew stronger with each shot fired. Energy absorption at 400% capacity, Chen reported. The magnetic field network is successfully capturing and amplifying their attacks. Elena nodded. Begin Phase 2. The human fleet split into smaller squadrons, each moving with perfect coordination. Unlike the rigid Kraxan formations, these groups flowed like water, adapting to every situation. Years of warfare had taught humanity that survival depended on flexibility, on the ability to change and grow. The Phoenix Prime led the charge, its advanced systems transforming captured energy into weapons the Kraxan had never imagined possible. Magnetic vortexes tore through enemy formations. Redirected energy beams, struck with pinpoint accuracy, enhanced by the magnetic field network that now encompassed the battlefield. In the Kraxan command ship, Grand Admiral Zexkar watched in horror as his fleet's advantages were turned against them. Each attack they launched only made the humans stronger. Their perfect formations, once a symbol of their power, became a liability as magnetic disruptions shattered their carefully planned maneuvers. Impossible. First Speaker Catal whispered as another squadron of Kraxan ships fell to their own weaponry. They're just primitives. No, Zexkar replied, finally understanding. They're survivors. Every challenge makes them stronger. Every defeat teaches them. While we relied on our superiority, they learned to adapt. While we sought to crush them, they learned to turn our strength against us. The battle raged for hours, but its outcome was never in doubt. The Kraxan fleet, for all its numbers, found itself fighting an enemy that grew stronger with every passing moment. Their weapons were useless, their tactics ineffective, their technology turned against them by an opponent they had fatally underestimated. When the Kraxan High Council finally transmitted their surrender, Elena ordered an immediate ceasefire. The human fleet held position, their hulls crackling with captured energy, as the once mighty empire laid down its arms. Your terms, First Speaker Catal asked, his pride shattered but his voice steady. Elena's response surprised both allies and enemies alike. Peace, she said simply, and knowledge exchange. You have much to teach us about the galaxy, and we have much to teach you about adaptation and innovation. The age of conquest is over. The age of cooperation begins. In the years that followed, humanity's magnetic field technology revolutionized interstellar travel and commerce. The Phoenix-class ships became symbols not of war, but of exploration and discovery. Earth took its place among the galactic community not as conquerors, but as innovators and mediators. The Kraxan Empire transformed as well, learning from their defeat to become something greater than they had been. Their rigid hierarchies gave way to more adaptive systems, their drive for conquest replaced by a thirst for knowledge and understanding. And in the heart of every spacefaring civilization, a lesson was remembered. Never underestimate a species that has learned to turn its own planet's natural forces into a shield and sword. Humanity had not just survived. They had shown the galaxy a new way forward. Admiral Rodriguez would later write in her memoirs, "The Kraxan came to teach us our place in the universe. Instead, they helped us discover who we truly were. In seeking to break us, they made us unbreakable. In trying to conquer us, they set us free." The stars themselves seemed brighter now, beckoning humanity toward a future they had earned through resilience, innovation, and the courage to face overwhelming odds. The Earth's magnetic field, once just a natural phenomenon, had become the key to unlocking humanity's true potential among the stars.